Mike Owens with Inside Fighting here, joined today by Cody Gibson, who returns to action next Saturday night, UFC Edmonton. Cody, great to sit down and chat. How are you today?
Oh, doing well. Weather, I don't know what it's like across the pond over there, but it's pretty nice right now. We've got this like 75-degree weather. If it stays there, that'd be okay by me.
We don't have 75-degree weather in England in summer, let alone in October. So lucky you. How are your emotions ahead of your return?
Yeah, just leave them in the back.
We're
Okay.
talking then, Cody, about your emotions ahead of your return.
Just excited. I'm excited to get back in there. I've been staying pretty damn consistent. I'm busy. It just feels like I'm kind of getting in a groove of fighting, taking a quick like reset, and then pretty much right back in the gym. And it's been like that since the Ultimate Fighter finale last August, which was really only a little over a year ago. But I mean, it feels like had a lot of fights since then. So just enjoying the process, enjoying this, and yeah, putting everything I got into it.
It's also your return to fans because you had the last couple behind closed doors in the Apex after your return at UFC Boston, as we talked about off camera. Does that matter anything different to you? And do you looking at this one going into potentially enemy territory? I mean, I know the Canadians are known for being notoriously nice. So how are your emotions ahead of your return to fans?
I really prefer being in front of an audience. You know, I like we were kind of talking about earlier. Like there's just an energy in the air, and you can't get that at the Apex. So whether they're cheering or booing, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as there's energy in the air. If I got to be the heel of the night, then I'm fine playing that part. Um, but either way, I mean, you feed off the crowd, you feed off that energy, and so I'm excited to be back in front of a live audience.
Have you fought in Canada before? And if so, what are you expecting from the crowd?
I've never fought in Canada. I fought Canadians, a couple actually. Um, but I've been to Canada, but I never this part of Canada, and never fought in Canada. So, um, I've had good experiences in Canada. I've only been to the West Coast of Canada, but I like Canada. Um, I'm sure I'm not going to be the most light guy in the building, considering he's only about 2.5 hours south of his hometown. So, um, either way, though, I'm excited to visit a new place, and there are a few fans that I've talked to that are going to be there. Canadian fans that have reached out and said, "Hey, I'm going to be there," So hopefully, I'll have a few people in the crowd.
When you UFC 308 is this weekend, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway for the UFC featherweight title, and we have an incredible new offer from our partners at DraftKings. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will instantly receive $200 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and sign up using our promo code Inside Fighting. The crown is yours. When you look at your next opponent, what do you give me your scouting report of him, and where do you look at this in this matchup as potential areas that you can exploit?
Um, I think he's got kind of an interesting striking style. He reminds me of like a Dominic Cruz kind of his footwork at least. He has heavy hands, that's for sure. If you go back and even trace his amateur or his like earlier fights and kind of his regional come up, he's always had heavy hands and sits down on his punches real well. So and he's tough and gritty. I mean, I think he started his MMA career with like a losing record.
Mm.
Uh, and then he turned it all around and he's kind of riding that wave still. So, and even when he got brought on to the contender series, he was like a massive underdog and he's just kind of got that underdog in him. He's got that dog in him, as people say. So, um, you know, um, I'm expecting a guy that's not going to go away easy. I don't think he's going to quit on himself. So, uh, you know, we'll see how it goes. I feel like I could dominate this fight, but at the same time, you never know. You don't know until you get in there. You start moving around and dancing with a guy. So I'm prepared for 15 minutes of hell if I need to give it 15 minutes of hell. But but my expectation is to go in and dominate for, for as long as the fight lasts.
Similar roads, I suppose, in many ways. There's a similarity there in terms of you both taking the hard road throughout your careers.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you see these kids and they're like 8-0, they're coming into the contender series, and then they're matched up kindly, and they get a big knockout, and they get a lot of pop and a lot of hype, and that wasn't my path, and it wasn't his either. So I think adversity builds character, and experience matters, and I got a lot of that, and he has quite a bit as well. So I'm excited for a tough, gritty guy who's not going to go away, and I'm sure he's got a lot of motivation to win in front of his home crowd. So I'm not expecting an easy fight by any means. I definitely didn't train with the anticipation of having an easy fight, but I definitely think my expectation is to go in and dominate minute by minute.
Here's a question I have for you. When you look at your skill set, what do you feel like is your ace in the hole? Like, what is the one thing you feel like you do perhaps better than anybody else in your division?
I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
Sorry, I was just saying, what do you feel like you do better than anybody else in the division?
I think just well-roundedness, being able to mix it up. If you watch, if I was doing film study on myself, like, it would be tough to have an idea of what I'm going to do in there, because every fight's different, and my game plan in every fight is different depending on who I'm fighting, and I can mix it up with strikers, and I can grapple with the best grappler. So if you have an area of weakness, I feel like I can exploit it. And there's nowhere you're really safe. I feel like I have weapons on my feet, and I have weapons on the ground, and so it's hard to plan for all of that. So, and just more than anything, just my length, my cardio, my pressure. I think that's what kind of sets me apart from a lot of guys in the division. And so, yeah, I plan on employing that, and putting that same pressure that and putting a high volume, high output, like I always try to do, and eventually try to drown guys with pressure.
I imagine with how the first couple of fights went back in UFC return, that win over Brian Kelleher last time, I must have felt really special. Talk to us a little bit about what that win meant to you last time out.
Yeah, it was a big win. I wanted to get back on the winning side of things, and kind of start building some momentum. I know, you never know how much longer you have in this game, and I want to make the most out of this last run I've got in me, and so that was a really important fight to kind of cement myself, like, hey, I'm going to be here for a while, putting on exciting fights, and trying to exceed expectations. So it was important that I won, and to do it, convincingly early, or first round finish. I just think, kind of validated. It was validating to myself that I'm not Tank, and yeah, excited to get out there this next week and build on it.
So when you look at this matchup, what is there anything else you're looking to get out of it past the win? Like, is it just a case of getting another W, or is there something else you're looking to show, or something else that you're looking to get out of next Saturday night?
I think, I mean, I'm always searching for a bonus. Like, the reality is, if you want to make the type of money I'm trying to make and stash away to make a difference in my family's life, like, it's going to come with bonuses. So, of course, winning is the priority, but being exciting and getting finishes and doing, controlling what I can control, as far as my output, my cardio. And I think if I do those things, I'll get more bonuses than I won't. So that's always in the back of my head too, is to make sure that people leave the arena talking about my fight, whether I was the main event or the first fight of the night. That's always my intention.
I have to ask you about your coach. And when I say coach, I mean you're a surrogate coach, let's say, on The Ultimate Fighter, because Michael Chandler has made the decision to move past the Conor McGregor fight, and he's now facing Charles Oliveira, I think 2 weeks after your fight. Just your thoughts on that, and did you feel like Mike made the right decision after all the time that's been spent?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough situation to be in for him. Obviously, doing the Ultimate Fighter, the expectation is that you're going to fight the guy.
Mm.
And you know, I know McGregor used the broken toe excuse, but I think anybody in the industry knows there's a lot going on behind the scenes with that guy, and you know, hopefully you know, if he's got some problems in his personal life that he needs to handle, I hope he handles them because time's a ticking. Father Time gets the best of all of us, even Conor McGregor. So
Mm.
hopefully, he's fighting again soon. And as far as Chandler goes, I think he made the right decision at the right time. I know he gets a lot of grief, a lot of stuff online about, oh, you wasted this much time and everything, but he's trying to do what's best for him and his family, the same as all of us, you know. And he waited, I think, as long as he could. That fight's still out there, possibly next year, but yeah, he's going to get busy, and he gets a rematch against the guy that was the champion, and he has shown that he has the ability to put Oliveira down. He dropped him in their first fight. Obviously, he ended up losing that fight, but I mean, I know he's motivated and he's dangerous. So I'm excited that he's finally going to get back to action and move into 2025. Maybe back to that McGregor fight with coming off a big win over Oliveira would be even bigger, or maybe he is thrown into a title fight. Crazier things have happened. So I think it was time for him to pull the trigger on that when he did, and yeah, hopefully that McGregor fight's somewhere in the future for him, because it is, it could be a good day, a payday for him for
Mm.
sure.
Just a couple more before we finish. I have to ask you about Saturday's main event, because probably the most anticipated title fight the rest of the year between Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway. Who do you see coming out with the 145-pound title in Abu Dhabi?
I mean, I think the Spanish guys. He showed to be really, really, really good. Really good boxing. I know he's got a really good ground game as well. And he's got a lot of power behind his punches. I don't like his attitude. I don't understand this idea that you have to be like an asshole. I don't know. Like I don't get it.
Mm.
Like Max Holloway might be the most beloved guy in the sport. Like I've never met anyone personally who has had bad interactions with him or said he's not a good dude.
Mm.
And he's a legend, right? Like, and you've got this young Spanish kid, and I know he's a champ, but to me that just rubs me the wrong way. Like, I don't know, just to like, are they selling any more pay-per-views because he's talking a little shit? I don't think so.
Mm.
Like, so I don't really get the disrespect on his part. I don't really like to see that. And I hope Holloway knocks him out, or beats him at least, but it's gonna be an uphill climb for Max. He's gonna have to use a lot of lateral movement, stay off the cage. That's where Ilia does his best work, is when he gets guys back into the cage where they can't move backwards anymore, or side. He cuts them off, moving side to side, and Max is gonna have to win this fight with footwork, and jabs.
Mm.
But if anybody can do it, it's Max Holloway, man. I wouldn't count that guy out, and hopefully the MMA gods are shining down on us this Saturday night, and we get to see, what is he called, the Blessed Express one more
Mm.
time.
We'll turn the conversation back to yourself for one final question. You can be as brief or as detailed as you like, but give me a walkthrough of your perfect fight day as you envisage it. So when you go to sleep and when you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep at night, talk me through the perfect day.
Oh, the perfect fight day. I mean, the fight day is always, I don't know. You're just antsy all day.
Mm.
You can't sit still. You got that pit in your stomach most of the day. Your body's still recovering from the weight cut. I really don't ever start feeling like myself until around lunchtime the day of the fight, is when I start feeling like my body's really recovered from the trauma that I've just caused it. And I've never had it where it always takes that almost a full day. But I've had fights where I felt great going into the fight. The warm up feels good. My body feels connected. And I haven't had the best fight. I've had fights where I feel clammy and my body's not moving right and I don't feel so great. And then I get out there and perform to my potential. So I don't really care what's going on before the fight. What matters is that 15 minutes, and what matters is winning the minute as many, if not all those 15 minutes as I can. And as long as I do that, I could have a shitty day and I'll be okay with that.
I love it. Well, Cody, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Have a great and safe rest of the camp, and best of luck for the fight.
Hey, good talking to you, Mike. Sorry, I'm on my